Hello, Algebra 2 students. And here we go with more simplifying complex numbers. Like you can't get enough. Here we go. When you have two uh, irrational numbers that are negative underneath here multiplied together, and how to simplify this. This is often missed. The way that I do this is to come over here and make two different factor trees, 23 and 46, and then I am going to break them down as much as possible. Now, 23 doesn't seem to break down. In fact, that is prime. 46 will break down into, let's see here, that would be 2 times 23. And that's it. This is very interesting because if I now group all three of these numbers together, 2 times 23 times 23, that is, in fact, what 23 times 46 would break down into. I have a pair of 23s. So a pair of 23s is going to make a 23 come out front. Now, the other thing that's going to come out in front of this is the i's. So I'm going to have an I come out of this one, okay, and an I come out of this one for each one because there's two negative signs, and I'm going to get I squared out front. So it's 23I squared, and underneath the radical symbol is going to be a 2 because that's the leftover, this right here. That 2 is going to be left over. It gets stuck out front. Now, to finish this off, it's just going to be 23 times, now remember that's negative 1 there, because I can replace I squared with negative 1 anytime I want. And my final answer then is going to be negative 23 radical 2. And that is the correct answer. So that problem was not only tricky because of what you have to do, it was tricky because of the way the 23s interacted with each other. Next and last problem we're going to do here today is this deal here where you have to multiply by a conjugate. Now, the conjugate of this problem is going to be, if it's 3i, we're going to multiply the top and bottom by negative 3i. Negative 3i. All we do is we switch the sign in front of the imaginary part, of just the bottom. So we incredibly carefully, that made sense. So we're going to very carefully multiply the bottom across and the top across. It doesn't matter which you do first. I'm going to do the bottom first just because. So I'm going to take 3i times 3i. That's going to be negative 9i cubed. Now, I think a lot of people, what they do is they try to simplify this and do a whole bunch of steps in their head, and that leads to wrong answers. Just leave it like that. Just be cool with it. Leave it like that. Up here, I'm going to distribute like so, because it's this times both of these. You can put that in parentheses if you like, but it's negative 3i times each one. So that's going to be negative 24i. And then I'm going to have negative 3i times negative 6i. So that's going to be plus, because you got a double negative there, 18i squared. Now, I would love to say, hey, we're done with that, but we're not even close to being done, because now we have the all-important part of simplifying all this stuff. So every I square I see is going to get made into a negative 1. Okay, so I'm just going to carry this over here. That's going to be negative 24i plus 18 times negative 1. That looks like this. 18 times negative 1. 18 there. So that's going to be a minus 18. We could have replaced that and made that minus. And on the bottom, that's going to be negative 9 times negative 1. And what's that equal? 9. So to go down here, this is going to be negative 24i minus 18 over 9. And we need to, again, develop good habits and make sure we put the number part first and the imaginary part second. So I'm going to rewrite this one more time to negative 18 minus 24i over 9. Everybody see what I did there? Switch that around. And then if I have a common factor between the 18, the 9, and the 24, I'm going to divide these into it. Do that in red so it sticks out. And what number can I divide into 18, 9, and 24? Looks like 3. So I can slash these. 3 goes into this negative 6 times. It goes into this negative 8 times. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. So if I rewrite this, Travis, this is where that negative 6 came from. This is negative 6 minus 8, and don't forget the I here, 8i over 3. And that would be your final answer for that problem. So when you have to multiply by conjugates here, that's where this gets incredibly tricky, and you have to remember the identities of negative, or I squared equals to negative 1. All right, you guys have a good one. Study this stuff again. I'll see you soon.